Hey everyone, my name is Jesse. This is the Auditorium. I react to video game music for the first time. As a musician myself, today's the return of Touhou. This is Touhou 11 Subterranean Animus. I like saying that. Stage 2 boss, Parsi Mizuhashi's theme, Green-Eyed Jealousy. I'm going to have to just assume it's her theme. From the channel Lu. Also from the channel Lu, we have Stage 2, The Bridge People No Longer Cross. That's a cool name. She have a hammer. Requested by Camerson1313. Okay. Let's check this out. I've heard 11 a couple times. I'm not sure when. But I definitely remember hearing Subterranean Animus before. Okay. Green-Eyed Jealousy. Uh-oh. I do not want her to be jealous. Scary. Let's go. She looks like she can like rip your life apart. A little melodic, slower. It has those elements of being fast. Well, there we go. So fast. I don't know if I ever got confirmation, but do we know if someone's performing those? Like, or are they all programmed? I'm gonna assume they're programmed. It's kind of fast. The background rhythm reminds me of like chiptune rhythms. Oh, that's cool. Slow down. Feels like this one has a lot of depth. Claps, a lot of piano, not so much drum play. It's got this emotion behind it. Is this character in love with you? Or with someone? It's got a little bit of a waltz in there. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. The other day I was having a... It's kind of funny that I'm doing Touhou now. I'm also doing Touhou later this week as well. I was having a bit of a shower thought, or I guess more of a kitchen thought. But I was thinking to myself randomly, out of all the songs I've heard, of all the games I've heard, and throughout my entire life, even though Touhou's new to me because I've never played it and I've only been hearing it for the past 2-3 years. I still consider that quite new to me. I don't know if I said this before, but I definitely feel this way. I think Touhou might be the most recognizable soundtrack in a game out of possibly anything ever. Maybe Mario would be up there too, like the earlier Marios. I'm not just talking like a specific song or something, or it's kind of closer to like a sound font, if that's the proper term here. But like I can tell when it's Touhou's song, you know what I mean? Like there's no confusing it with anything. It's so much its own DNA that I just can't confuse it with anything. There's no way I would. I think I'm comfortable saying that. I could hear a Touhou song blind completely and be like, that's from Touhou. Even if it's slower like this, you know, it still just has that going for it. And like that's kind of unique to say, you know? There's a lot of games that sound unique, but you know what I'm saying? Like nothing really sounds like Touhou. It sounds like its own thing. And I wonder if anyone's ever like tried to copy the sound of Touhou. Like are there games that have come out since then that are very clearly inspired from, like Zune or something? So that was one of my shower thoughts. The other one I was having just now was, this reminds me of a meme that came out, oh god, it's probably like a decade now. I think her name was Lena. Do you guys remember? It was like it's like a jealous psycho girlfriend. I forgot what the meme was, but it's a girl that like stared really hard. I think she still does like social media too, which is weird because I don't know how you hang on to, you know, meme fame for that long. But that's kind of the vibes I'm getting here. Like I know that's more of a joke, but it's like, is that what's happening here? Like, is she like? I'm getting the feel of like, you're not gonna love anyone else, are you? That kind of thing. I don't know what this hand symbol means. I don't even know how she's doing that. That kind of hurts my wrist to even try doing that. She has her hands completely upside down. Okay. Well, that was definitely one of the slower songs I've experienced in Touhou, but it's still, I don't know, that was really nice. It had a lot going on in it. I've been trying to decipher Touhou more and more lately because of, I said once that, you know, a lot of the music sounds the same, which some people took that as a, I don't even know if insult is the right word, but some of them took it like, what do you mean it sounds the same? Look, well, it sounds the same. You know, there's nothing wrong in saying a factual thing. You know what I mean? I think it would sound sillier if I said that all Touhou music sounds different from another. Do you know what I mean? Like that sounds a lot, whatever. Anyways, people that are, that can think normally can understand what I'm saying. Touhou sounds, a lot of the music sounds the same, but that's cool. That's what makes it cool, you know. But they kind of like choose what to hear and take it into a negative. By the way, that's not a common thing whatsoever. I'm talking like 1% of all Touhou comments has brought that up. But even though this sounds like Touhou, like it still sounded, to me, it sounded actually quite unique amongst the Touhou stuff. There is definitely like emotional songs and melodies in the Touhou stuff I've heard before, but this one for some reason stood out to me. I don't know, because it's been a while since I've heard it, maybe. But it just seemed like more was going on here. There was a lot more play with like the hi-hats. The Zunpet was kind of like taking a back seat. It was more piano this time. And it just had a little bit more of a dynamic nature to it. It was speed changes, and I don't know, it was just kind of nice. That's pretty much all I got. But I'm curious. This I'll ask though. I'm gonna ask the heavy biased crowd of Touhou fans. Despite the songs sounding similar, which again is not a bad thing. Do you think it fits their characters? Maybe some. Maybe not all. Maybe all. Who knows? Do you think it fits her? Now, this next one, I'm going to assume these two songs are connected somehow. I'm pretty sure it's the same character. Yeah, looks like the same design on the clothing, kind of. But here she looks pissed. The bridge people no longer cross. That is ominous as hell. So I don't know what this is. I'm guessing, if I had to guess, the first one was a boss theme. Actually, yeah, it says boss. Stage 2 boss. Oh, it says right here. Stage 2 boss. This is stage 2. Oh, so maybe I should have heard him backwards. Either way, Touhou, the bridge people no longer cross. By the way, if I ever ask so many questions, it's because I'm genuinely curious. That means I'm interested. Ooh. Intrigued already? Again, different. Electric guitars? That's kind of... I feel like I don't hear that enough. Oh, I like this. Oh, I like how it's like pulsating. Ooh. Ooh, this sounds like a Wild Arms song to me. Oh, dude. I'll try to find it, but this sounds like a song. And it made me think of something else now. I'm getting this kind of like strange vibe from this character. Like, ooh. There's a bit of a conflict musically. Nice snare. Right after I said I heard a unique song, I get one of the more unique songs in Touhou I've heard. What I said earlier about stuff sounding like Touhou, no matter what. I don't know about this one. It's the most disguised one. This right here sounds like Touhou, right here. This is the part that sounds like Wild Arms to me. This is nice. These two songs were good. It's a good thing I'm hearing more Touhou later this week because I feel like it's been a while. It's cool. Boom. Something's going on with this character. I don't know, but okay. Before I forget, I'm gonna have to make a cut at some point just so I can find that Wild Arms song. There's this melody that sounds really close to that during the chorus E section. Something I forgot to mention after the last song, but it still applies here. Another shower thought I had that I think is something that I really admire about Touhou, and that is, there's many games I feel this way about, but especially Touhou. Someone made a comment the other day, one of my Clair Obscure Expedition 33 videos, and they're like, dude, imagine you showed someone, they were just talking about the game. They're like, imagine you showed this game to someone like 20, 30 years ago. And I was like, yeah, I agree. You know, I think about stuff like that all the time. When I'm hearing all these songs, that's a common thought for me. I never really bring it up, but there's a lot of thoughts that go into my head. But that is one that constantly happens. I always think about past, present, future, for the most part. You know, I'm fascinated by that. I always think about like, how would, you know, X song sound back in the day, or how it's going to sound later on in the future. You know, that kind of thing. Because a lot of stuff gets appreciated over time, right? So anyways, with Touhou, I've thought it a couple times where imagine this like back in the days of Bach, you know, who's out there doing Vivaldi's Winter, you got like Vivaldi's Winter, you got Bach's stuff, Toccata and Fugue, all these classical pieces that are crazy virtuoso pieces, a bunch of notes, fast stuff that I don't even know how they come up with it back then. Imagine, I mean, of course, I'm not talking like the complexities of like the really fast beats and the Zunpet and everything. I'm talking like the piano melodies and just the overall lead melodies. Imagine hearing that back then. It would have fit so perfectly. And that's what I try to hear, despite this was for any game, despite how chaotic and fast or whatever it may be. There's always music underneath, always, regardless. You can take something from it and imagine it in a different instrument, what have you, you know. So I always think about that kind of stuff. And yeah, I always think like, imagine the last song, you know, all that piano piece. Imagine hearing it back there with like powdered wigs and all that. That would blow people's minds. Anyways, I'm going to do a quick cut because I want to find that Wild Arms song that this is reminding me of, so give me a few minutes. All right, we're back. So this is actually really cool because Wild Arms is one of my favorite soundtracks of all time, so much so that I ended up playing that game. For those that don't know, the rare times I decide to play a game, it's because the soundtrack was that good. So if I can compare something to Wild Arms, that's a huge compliment. There's a recurring motif in Wild Arms. I don't know what it's from. It just appears a lot, and there's this one da 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 da, that kind of thing. So during the chorusy section here, which I think is the Touhou main, like one of the main motifs of Touhou. Did I lose it? Touhou uses a lot of that da-da-da. It reminds me of this right here. There's a lot of that in Wild Arms. And it made me think, I think it'd be the coolest thing ever to have like someone on YouTube mix a lot of the Wild Arms songs into like a Touhou style. You know what's funny? I don't know if this exists, it probably does, but there's probably a lot of remixes of games or other songs that are turned into like a Touhou style. Let me know if that's a thing, because again, it's so unique. But a lot of Wild Arms melodies can translate really, really well, and that's really awesome. So yeah. Anyways, back to this one. I think it's super funny because I have this tendency to the community, my Discord has labeled it as just Jesse timing, where I'll say something and then it kind of just happens as a joke, usually at my expense. But I really just was like, wow, you know, I just said a lot of the songs sound the same, which I say often, but you know. And then these two are kind of pushing those boundaries, especially the second one. The first one definitely gave me Touhou feels, but this one, I don't know. I feel like this would be a tough quiz. So much so that I'm probably just exaggerating here, but so much so that I feel if you were quizzing a Touhou super fan, and then you showed them this, they might even say, "Are you sure this is Touhou?" Of course, that's a bit of a stretch, but that's how different it sounded to me, and that was cool. It had a very dark feeling, dark yet melodic and mysterious is probably the best word. First image looks like she's putting a spell on you. Second one looks like she's committed an act. She's at the bottom of a bridge with a sledgehammer. Let me know what's going on in these. Touhou is always a fun time, and I have more Touhou later this week from the time you're seeing this, so cool. All right. Yeah, go listen to Wild Arms. Seriously. It's not the same speed or anything, but you might like the melodies because they're kind of similar. Just imagine them with a lot of piano and faster beats. All right. Well, thank you to the requesters. Thank you to everyone you see on screen. I couldn't be here without them. Thanks to you for watching. My name is Jesse in the auditorium. Peace.